Matt Miller.
Militant affection.
Okay, this is moving the mic. I wonder if I can lean back and do this. Okay, this is Matt Miller. I guess I gotta lean forward when I talk. No, I just want to talk like this. Can I just talk like this and have it sound good? Or should I raise it? I'm raising the mic. I read once in a book that it's professional to start without having anything ready. That's a little better. Can I lower this seat? No. I don't know how I did this before so good, but we're back in it. I'm going to be a little slunched because I want to be close to the smicrophone. I call it a smicrophone because I don't know how to say words correctly because I'm a fat idiot. Just kidding. I lost a lot of weight. I had mono, as mentioned before. If you listen to the last one, look how skinny I am now. I'm skinny as fuck. I thought I was 208, weighed myself today. I'm 210, okay? My lowest I ever got was 195, all right? So if you see what I'm doing is weight loss. I made chili today. If you're watching this on video, there's some specks of delicious ass fucking crap chili that I made. It's actually pretty good. I liked it. And then I had a second bowl, which was too much. And I realized I may have overspiced it. And now I'm throwing up in my mouth. I'm throwing up my own chili into my mouth like a faggot. Just kidding. That's an early F-bomb. I'm cutting that out from the past. That's what I call a People Ready podcast. I got rejected from iTunes, I think because I only recorded one episode. But I'm going to resubmit the episode to iTunes. I have notes of what I want to talk about today. But first, I'm going to have to burp. Not yet. Okay, don't listen to that. God. This is not enjoyable to anyone. When I listen to a podcast and someone burps, I hate it. Which is why I am doing it now. I have Pepsi Max that I'm drinking because when you throw up in your mouth, the best thing to do is to maximize your throat capabilities with a Pepsi Max. I slurp that to know, for the audio listeners, to know that I am drinking. I saw my therapist on Thursday. Today is Saturday. I am inside. It is 8:36. Saw my therapist. I was therapist to see him. He always ends early, starts late. I don't think he's there to help me. I think he's just there to suck cocks through his nostrils. And he doesn't do that. But how he always sits like, he has like a desk and a little thing, and he always puts his feet on the desk and looks at me like, Sometimes he sits with just his balls hanging out, and he's looking at me like, And he's such a fucking loser. I'm going to stop going to him. I told him, like, I was listening to music when I walked in. I told him I was listening to trap music in my headphones, and he's like, oh, I know trap music. He's like, you know Little Peep? And I was like, yes. I'm like, yeah, he's dead. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I saw a video with him, and he was with a young African-American gentleman in the video. And I was like, okay. Oh, man, that's what he said. And he's like, I may be old, but I'm still pretty hip. And I'm like, you're a faggot. Okay, that's 2 in the episode. I'm going to stop doing it. I think it's offensive. He was retarded, I'll say. He was retarded. And I was like, that African-American gentleman was probably Little Tracy, because I know Little Peep and his discography. I am a sad man, and I do know his discography of songs. His song Kiss, I listened to it. The beginning's kind of dumb. Speaking of which, I make hot beats over here on this computer. Not that you can see it or hear it, but here's some hot. This beat is terrible, but let me do a little rhyming for you before I talk about my traumatic things. I have a lot of traumatic things, but let me lower the volume. Hopefully this won't be too loud. This is professional way to do it, is to have the audio come out of a laptop and then record the audio next to it. Like, I don't know if that's loud enough. Let me higher again. Okay, I'll do a little rapping for you. We'll wait for it to do its reset. Talking on a microphone is so fun. I can talk until I'm done. Started off quick, suck on my dick. Yesterday I invented sticks. Bought the sticks from the store from a guy. Audio's too high, make it wanna die. Lower the beat, change the way I rap. I'm the best and you are crap. Talk so cool, my move so flat. Act like you don't understand that. Got an ass, I got a face. Put that together, ass face. Replace the place with the bound right case. Everybody knows this place is in haste. Haste with that and rock the rhymes. My beat's cooler than your wine. I rhyme so lime like hit him like blime. Blime climb like I hit him in time. Yesterday I saw a man named Jime. Jime said to me that I'm doing fine. I said fine ain't a word, Jime, you idiot. He said fuck you, I'm more idiot. Idiot? More like an idiot. Systematic, dystematic, yesterday I'm bidiot. Everybody talk shit like I got the Brock shit. Talking to me like shit ain't got shit. Claps the taps and the raps and the traps. Everybody knows I got shit and all lax. And I talk to you like rapping a skill. Like I paid the bills like the underwear stills. You're a shill and your beat's so skill. I don't talk cooler than the yesterday Phil. Yesterday's Phil was named John Tier. He ain't cooler than Mama Meir. Eating pizza, fucking up shit. Everybody come over here and suck my dick. Suck my dick. Don't suck my dick. Now suck my dick. Don't suck my dick. Now suck my dick. Don't suck my dick. If you already sucking it, might as well finish it. Suck my dick. Don't suck my dick. Now suck my dick. Don't suck my dick. Now suck my dick. Don't suck my dick. If you already be sucking, then you might as well chuck it in a... Hit him in the fucking in a... Okay, I'm gonna stop that. The whole suck my dick part I have done before, and I was going to put out a song where I did that, and that's a little preview in case I do, in fact, put out that song. All right, throwing in my mouth. Throwing in my mouth still. I speak like a genius, and I talk like a genius. So there's a little rap for you up front. Hopefully, okay, so what did I write down? I wrote down, Dad hit with keyboard. So one time, I used to work at Stop and Shop, which is also known as Stop and Shop, a grocery store. This is back when I was taking cough syrup to get high. That's a different story for a different time. But I used to work at the grocery store. I remember the Stop and Shop had a Boston Market. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's just like a comfort food restaurant. Kind of, it's like chicken and whatever. And I used to steal chicken wings and whatnot from there all the time. I would go to the Boston Market in the Stop and Shop, take all the items, go sit down in the lunch area, not pay for anything. And like everyone in the store was doing this, and they actually went out of business, and now they're not in Stop and Shop because we stole all their shit. I remember I used to steal Monsters from Stop and Shop, like energy drinks. I kept a tally of how much I stole, and I stole a lot. And I mostly stole because of the union dues. Because my union dues every week were between like $6 and like $15 every week. I worked there forever. I worked there for like 6 years. So that's every week. It was when I was in college, so I didn't actually work there during the college years. Only in the summer when I went home. Because I worked at my home Stop and Shop. But yeah, I had thousands of dollars taken away on union dues, so I stole to make up for it because I wasn't a full-time employee, so I didn't receive any union benefits, but I still had to pay union dues. So fuck Stop and Shop and their stupid fucking policy. I remember one time they took out 15, and I asked like the manager, I was like, why is $15 getting taken out? He's like, oh, that's just what gets taken out. I'm like, last week it was $6, and he's like, oh, it changes, and I'm like, you fucking just say what. This isn't real. And I remember one time I called the union to ask them what the exact union dues were, and then they eventually just hung up on me. Like I called them multiple times, and they stopped speaking to me because it wasn't like set in stone. They knew they were fucking over people. So fuck the Stop and Shop union. I know I'm in support of unions, but some unions can suck my cock. You know what I mean? They can lick my taint. You know what I mean? They can suck my asshole. You know what I mean? So fuck them. They're all fucking dumb. And Dad hit with one time my dad picked me up from Stop and Shop, and his forehead was all hit and bleeding, and blood was dripping down his fatherly face. and he had a thing against his head, like a cloth, or maybe it was just a paper towel. And I was like, Dad, what happened to your head? And he's like, oh, it fucking fell or whatever. And it turned out that my mother had hit my father on the head with a keyboard, a Dell keyboard, noted Dell keyboard. Dude, you're getting a Dell into the head, and you have to pick up your son, and your forehead is bleeding. So this was fun. Like, I remember I was like, okay. And then I went home. My sister was like sad and was like, Dad got hit with a keyboard, blah, 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 blah. And like the fun fact about that is the keyboard still worked. You know what I mean? Guess stop saying you know what I mean. The keyboard still worked. So like Dell makes a good keyboard. Like Dell keyboards can handle domestic abuse. They're strong keyboards. They're ergonomic. Is that what ergonomic means? I'm not going to look it up. I can't have dead air anymore. I'm a fucking podcast Esperanto. That means expert in Spanish. And yeah, so he was hit. And I think he got stitches or had to go to the hospital. He was pretty banged up. We still use that keyboard, though. It didn't break. Yeah, my mom used to hit my dad a lot. I remember there was a period of time where every night she would because my dad would forever sleep on the couch and my mom would sleep in the bedroom. And she used to just wake up in the middle of the night, go downstairs to yell at him and hit him until he had to leave. And then she'd throw his clothes out. And I think my dad just never did anything in response. He would say he's getting a divorce and do nothing, and then he'd bring flowers back. My dad is null of emotions, you know what I mean? He doesn't really say I love you to me. I remember one time I was talking to him, and we were just talking. I was like, hey, if you ever just want to call me, you can. And he's like, why would I just call you for no reason? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe sometimes a father wants to speak to his son, He's like a robot. I don't know what makes him tick. It's weird. He's not like the common trope of the grizzled father that doesn't say I love you. He's not like that. He's more of just a fucking emotionless weirdo, fucking spineless person that lets my mom abuse him. No, I love my dad, and that's mean. I can say that. You can't say that, so don't say that. But yeah, my fucking dad got hit in the head. My mom has pushed my dad down the stairs before. I don't know. I assume whenever I go home and I see my father hurt, I assume it's from my mom and not because he was doing shit. Maybe sometimes it's because he's doing shit, but I don't know. I think one time she pulled a knife on him, but I can't verify that because I was just listening to it happen. I used to be up at night every night just listening to them argue and fight and punch and shit. And my fucking parents' perspective on domestic abuse and shit, I'm like, if my sister was getting hit by her husband, I'd have to intervene. And they're like, well, if people are like that, you just gotta let them be like that. That's their opinion. You don't intervene. You just let some people, that's just how they are. And I'm like, that's fucking crazy. If someone's being abused, you have to intervene. I think people, if anyone listens to this, would agree with this. But my parents don't agree with this. I think that's just because they're so beady, or my mom's so beady and punchy that she would be a hypocrite if she felt otherwise. So she covers her tracks. But I'm just like, no, if my sister was getting hit, I would have to intervene. I couldn't see that shit, But they're like, no, you just let people be how they are. And I'm like, what if she was getting stabbed? What if they murdered her? Would we just let that be how it is? You fucking retard, fucking awful people. I mean, they can be nice. That's probably not nice. They're not awful. I made it this far. I think it's better to forgive, you know what I mean? Even if they did shit. You have to forgive even your worst enemy. That's my psychology on this. I think you live a better life if you live a life of forgiveness and not hate. Even if someone did the worst shit to you, you have to have sympathy, I guess? Sympathy. I know as crazy as that sounds, but it's just no one chooses who they're born as. You could have been this person. I believe that. Anyone could have been anyone. You don't really, I sort of don't believe in free will. I think everything kind of just happens, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try to do stuff with your life. You know what I mean? It doesn't really, not believing in free will doesn't change anything. You're still going to do what you do and go after what you do, and you still can't complain about shit all the time. But I just think not believing in free will allows you to have more sympathy for your fellow man. You know what I mean? You can tickle his balls a little bit after dinner. And I think ums are good for talking. But yeah, sympathy even for the worst people, and forgiveness, because living with hate and fucking, like, I don't know, it's not good for the system. It makes you fat. I mean, I ate so much. Oh man, I want some candy right now for some reason. I got some of those fucking watermelons, Sour Patch Kids, except store brand, in my cabinet. I'm probably going to eat some of those after this. I know I'm trying to lose weight, but fuck it, you know? Candy's fat-free, although sugar is fucking terrible for you. Harder to kick than cocaine. Yeah, so yeah, my father was constantly abused, and my mom says the worst stuff to my father all the time, calls him useless, and I don't know, other bad things, and he just takes it. God, I don't know what makes my dad tick. God, I'm burping so much. He didn't drink like half a bottle of Pepsi Max before recording an audio-based medium. Maybe if I was recording a burp cast, this would be different. So does the concept of this show make sense? Making fun of traumatic events or bringing them to the forefront? So, okay. What else am I talking about? I used to play drums. Remember, I used to play drums. I was big into Limp Bizkit when I was a child. I remember one time, I was big into Limp Bizkit and Eminem. Those are my guys. Remember one time, I was in middle school. I don't even remember doing it. Somebody carved Limp Bizkit and Eminem into like the playground equipment, and then somebody told the teacher that this happened, and they're like, oh, these bands aren't like appropriate for students. I can't believe somebody did this. And I'm just like, what a fucking loser. Why would you tell on someone? I remember growing up in the playground, we had there was like a tire playground just made out of tires. There was like a huge tire pyramid and like a tire swing. And the thing was, like, when it was sunny out and hot, like the tires would get super hot and we'd like burn ourselves, and then we had to stop using the tire playground. Like it wasn't like it wasn't child friendly. Like they shouldn't have allowed a tire playground. It was an entire playground. We got all tired from using it. It caught on fire, and we inhaled the fumes, and we're all now dumber because of it. I think the is what make it. You know what I mean? More Pepsi Max to live life to the max. Yeah, we had tire. Yeah, I used to listen to that shit. I remember when I got my first Walkman, I got the Limp Bizkit City Significant Other, and I'll just like listen to break stuff. It's like all about the he said, she said, oh shit. Those are the good times. It's masturbating to music videos. I'll tell you some of the best ones. Christina Milian, Dip It Low, strong masturbation music video. P.D. Pablo, Freak-a-Leak was a good one. When it would be cuts between P.D. Pablo and like scantily clad women dating, and I used to jerk off to the scantily clad women, and then when it would cut to P.D. Pablo, I would have to stop jerking off, and then I'd restart when the scantily clad women were dancing around and shit. I don't know. I was a fucking weirdo when it came to jerking off. I used to jerk off to Madonna videos, like old chicks. Like I jerked off to that video where she was like rapping. That was a good one. I remember because like she was like wearing like ballerina shit and dancing, and that was a strong jerk off one. Or like Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, all that shit. J-Lo had some good ones. I don't know why I'm going onto this tangent. I remember there was like this magazine cover that had Jennifer Lopez on. I jerked off to that magazine cover. These were the good times in life, you know what I mean? The times you'll never forget. And I never will forget them. Anyhow, I used to play drums. And I remember I was learning how to play drums. I had a drum pad. It was like do do psh boom 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 psh. You know what I mean? And on 9/11, I remember on 9/11 we were making pretzels in school. Like we could either make like a salt pretzel or like a cinnamon sugar one. And I made a cinnamon sugar one because like this sounded fun. You know, I eat tons of salt pretzels. Why not make a cinnamon sugar one? And I made it, and it sucked. You know, it was like the worst thing that happened that day. Get it? Anyhow, I had drum lessons after school. Well, they just let us go through school the other day. They didn't send us home. I had drum lessons. Well, I went home. I learned about 9/11. I was like, oh shit, that's fucking stuff. And then I went to drum lessons. I remember the kid before me was wearing a Limp Bizkit t-shirt. He had it was like a he said, she said, and then it was a picture of a bull and a picture of shit. And I was like, yeah, he's wearing a Bizkit Limp shirt. And I went in, I learned about drums. And then I left. We didn't talk about 9/11 during the lesson at all, even though it was 9/11. We just drummed. It was almost like it didn't happen. And then I went outside and I sort of pictured the towers collapsing on the road for some reason. I may be making this up, but I remember picturing some sort of rubble shit. And then I just stopped playing drums that day, because I was like, in a world where 9/11 happens, I can't be playing drums. You know what I mean? I gotta be helping people. That's not really what I thought. I was just tired of fucking playing drums. So I quit playing drums on 9/11, which was really made that the most unfortunate thing to happen that day. For me, at least, because I didn't know anyone that died. R.I.P. the dead. I remember a friend came over, or not a friend, maybe, I don't know, some mother came over to talk about 9/11. And she was like, oh, I think she was talking about her husband. She's like, oh, her husband was there, and he saved 8 people and then hid under a car. And I'm like, are you just trying to show off what your husband did? It sounded made up. She wanted to go around and talk about how her husband's a hero to make herself feel good, because she probably got into this fucking neighborhood lifestyle of just being a stay-at-home mom, and she never fulfilled her dreams, and she's making up stories about her husband to make her vagina tingle again. I think loud noises into the mic is probably good to listen to for the ears. That's around, let me make a note. That was around 20 something, 22 loud noise. What should I call this? 9/11 9/11 was bad for my drumming. Yeah, that's a strong... That wasn't really traumatic. Well, 9/11 was traumatic. No, 9/11 was traumatic, but me quitting drums wasn't traumatic, which is... I'm missing the point of the show. I'm just going to do a joke I do. I'm just going to burn it here, because nobody fucking cares. So a month after 9/11, me and my family went to Disney World. We didn't plan it that way. It wasn't an inside job. It's just how it happened to happen. And if you ever want to go to 9/11, I've already fucked up the joke. You know what? I'm not going to do the joke. I may release the joke on my YouTube channel someday, Matt Miller Comedy on YouTube, and then you can see the joke. So I'm not going to just waste it here. You got the premise, but you haven't got the punchline. So that is for you. Okay, real quick, I'm going to stop the camera, because I can only record 30 minutes, and restart it, but I'm going to remain the audio podcast, but I'm going to do some singing. Okay, I'm moving to the camera, talking to myself, recording the best podcast that I can even say. I talk so good to everyone. My best friend is a dog. Okay, I'm back. And I did laundry today, and I came down a little late, and somebody had already taken my laundry out of the dryer and put it in a basket so they could do theirs, which is fine, but I just don't know what's in their grubby hands, you know? What if they have HIV in one hand and Ebola in the other, and then they touch my underwear, and now I have dick-bola? You know what I mean? That'd be bullshit, is all I'm saying. I don't know. Pepsi Max makes me burp to the max. I got a lot of fucking families in this fucking building I live in. A lot of families and dogs, kids and kids riding dogs, dogs fucking kids. It's chaos. And that's just how I live. All right, another thing. One time when I was a kid in elementary school, I don't remember which years. Well, there's one time I came home with my shirt backwards because we were just being silly. It was backwards. I said backwards all fucking weird. Don't correct me. And my mom got real mad and angry at me for coming home with a backwards shirt. Like, I wasn't like, she's like, what the fuck you doing? You can't be going to school with a backwards. Like, it wasn't backwards. It was inside out because we were being silly. She's like, you're a fucking dumbass. And I remember being real scared. And like, we were just having fun wearing inside out shirts. Yeah. I used to cry a lot into my dinners. One time in specific, I remember it cried into like meatloaf, but it really salted it up, made it really tasty. Tears make meatloaf delicious. No, one time, so I used to come home from school in elementary school. I remember there was a short period of time where I'd come home and I was just sad. I don't know why I was sad, but I'd just come home crying for no reason. And my mom would yell at me, and she's like, you can't just come home crying for no reason. You're not allowed just to be crying and sad. She's like, give me a fucking reason. So I just lied to her and said that like a bully was picking on me. But this was not true. I just needed her to fucking stop yelling at me for crying, even though I don't really know why I was crying. I just had to lie to her because she was yelling at me for crying. So I made up this fictional bully. And I remember she gave me this like hard like rock like egg thing to bring to school that if he picked on me, I should hit him in the head with it. That's what she told me to do, hit him in the head. And then like after a few days, she was like, oh, are you still getting picked on? I was like, no, I hit him in the head and now he stopped. Like I just had to make up this whole scenario. And she's like, good. She was like happy that I did that. And I was like, that's when I learned I wasn't allowed to be sad growing up, which is fun, which is why I'm sad now. I'm getting all my sadness out of my system nowadays, drinking Pepsi Max, eating chili. I watched a lot of Southern people make chili today. That was fun. You know, they call chili in Texas, well, a certain kind of chili in Texas, they call it a bowl of red because they use blood from virgins to make it. The people in Texas are crazy. That's not true. They use HIV-infected blood because people in Texas are gay. Actually, that's offensive and rude. But yeah, I made up a fictional bully and told my mom I had hit him or her. I could have had a gal bully. She's like, hey, you're a fucking pussy, you little third grader. And I'm like, that hurts me. I'm going to go cry. And she's like, you better go cry. And then I go back to school the next time. And I'm like, hey, girl. And she's like, yeah. And I just go, whap. And I fucking knock this chick out. And she's dead. She died. She's a dead girl. Dead girl, dead. I killed her. I should have told my mom I killed the bully. And then see how she feels when she's got a boy who has manslaughter on his hands. I remember in middle school when we graduated, like a middle school girl had died. Like she was like riding on a motor or like a dirt bike of her boyfriend. And she like wasn't wearing a helmet, or she was. And she fell off the back and hit her head and she died. And there's like a big memorial to her and everyone cried. And I'm like, did this girl even go to school here? I feel like she would skip school all the time and nobody really knew her. And everyone was crying. And she died. She's dead. She's a dead girl, dead gal. She died in middle school, falling off the back of a dirt bike. And the way they sort of made it up to her is they had Travis Pastrana do a double backflip during the ceremony. Famous dirt bike rider Travis Pastrana landed his first double backflip in memorial for this little girl who had died on the back of a dirt bike with her boyfriend. Now, I don't know how that made her 24-year-old boyfriend feel, but he definitely went to jail. I don't know how old he was. Yeah, that was sad. I barely remember it. But that was pretty sad that a girl died. I'll end with this story. I had this friend in elementary school, middle school, like my best friend. I remember on the bus. I don't know if we were dared to do it, but like me and my male friend, we kissed each other, and that was like my first kiss was with a dude. I'm a straight man, and the first person I kissed was a man. Well, a boy, actually, and I was a man. I'm a pedophile. Just kidding. That's not true. Don't take out that audio. But anyhow, I kissed my friend on a dare, and then somebody told on us. The fucking kids are the fucking snitch ass. I wish this was like, I wish we were in gangs so those kids would get killed. And then I remember our bus driver was like one of these guys that had a big like fucking tumor on his neck and he couldn't get it fixed because he was a bus driver and it looked gross. And it was like a dinosaur egg. God, I'm burping so fucking much. And he came back and he had the egg and he was like, I heard you guys are kissing back here. And we're like, us boys aren't kissing. And he's like, I don't want any kissing done on my bus. And we're like, okay, we're not even kissing. That was so stupid. Well, I've recorded enough for this one. Hopefully the burps aren't that big a deal. And if they are, that sucks. I shouldn't have had so much Pepsi Max before this. But that's it for this. You can find me at Matt Miller Real on Twitter and Facebook. I'm Matt Miller Comedy on YouTube. My website's mattmillercomedy.com. It may or may not be done now. It may just be a work in progress. You probably shouldn't go to it. But thank you for listening to Militant Affection. See you later.
Militant Affection.